Well guys, today we have big news because I am standing in our bus at the mobile home, getting ready to unload the insulation. We got this big load of fiberglass so that we could finally get the roof insulation installed, which is awesome. So let's just get this loaded in the house so that we can go home, pick up our ladder, come back, and hopefully get some work done on the roof today. I've never used this door before. I'll have to see on the outside how it opens. We never put the hardware on the screen door, but I'm hoping we can bring the insulation in this way. It was screwed shut. Oh, actually, if you stood them up along the wall, we might be able to get the scaffold in right next to them. Yeah, just stand them up against the wall. That's a good idea. That's how it is. So there it is, 10 big bundles of fiberglass insulation. That's all for the roof. And I know we're gonna get some questions. Why fiberglass? Well, because it's affordable, easy to work with, and compresses easily. Some of this will need to be compressed because our ceiling, a good chunk of our ceiling, is less than 5.5 inches thick. We got a very thin roof. There's nothing we can do about that. When it comes to the next question is R21, because usually R38 is required, minimum of R30 required, but this is a mobile home. We go under different guidelines, and it's an old mobile home, and the roof is only so thick. So R21 was our best option. That's as much insulation as we could reasonably get in there. Some of it is going to be compressed at the edge, and then it's going to get thicker as it goes up. And it's going to be a nice amount for this mobile home. You got to keep in mind that for the last 40 years, there's been about this much insulation in the roof, and it's been doing fine. People have lived in it, no problems.
Yeah.
More than having insulation in the roof, it's just having a good air seal, so you're not losing a lot of air through your ceiling. It's going to make a huge difference. And this is going to be like a 2 times upgrade from what was in there. We chose unfaced because we have an unvented attic, so there's no vents in our roof. It's a solid roof system, and that's why I preferred to get unfaced insulation. If I have a vapor retarder on the ceiling side and there's nowhere for moisture to go on the roof side, you can trap moisture. I don't want to trap moisture. I want it to breathe and dry to the interior. Any moisture, I'm not saying wetness, but any kind of just air vapor can diffuse to the inside. The ceiling panels themselves are going to block enough moisture and air that you don't need faced insulation, and unfaced is going to be easier to work with. So for our situation, in this climate, unfaced is what I wanted. If we were up north, I'd probably go with faced, maybe.
Most likely.
Now I know a lot of people love mineral wool. That's our favorite insulation to use, but it's hard to compress. And we need compression for the ceiling because we do need to squeeze some of it in. And don't worry about squeezing insulation. We'll talk about that when we install it. But compressing insulation is not bad for the insulation. And we're not going to lose our value like you guys think you would. That's kind of like a misunderstanding of the whole insulation world. When you compress insulation, you actually make it more efficient. You lose our value because you lose inches. but you gain R value per inch. It's not the air in the insulation that insulates. That's just a misconception of how things work. By compressing it, it's still gonna work perfectly fine. It's gonna work excellent. And let's say we compress this 5.5 inch bat down to 3.5 inches. It's gonna perform the same or better as a regular 3.5 inch insulation. So you really gotta think about insulation as just how many inches. If we compress this down, we're still gonna have at least R15 or so, where it's compressed to 3.5. And in the walls, we're gonna wait on all the wall insulation until we get all of our framing and wiring done. We still have to do everything in here. And when we do the walls, I will be switching over to rock wool, most likely, because it is just a better insulation. We don't have to worry about compressing it as much in the walls. We can just put it in. Rock wool is less prone to water damage and insect damage. And if insects ever get into our walls, we don't want them destroying the insulation like they did with the fiberglass. And the roof, I'm not worried about it. There's no reason for ants or bugs to get up into the roof, so this fiberglass is perfect. And that's it. That's all there is to say about that. We're going to be installing that soon, but first we have to make sure this roof is waterproofed. We're going to go home. It's starting to sprinkle right now, so I don't know if we can get this done today, but we're going to get our ladder. We're going to get up on that roof and we're going to clean it and we're going to seal it. Well guys, we made it back already and we have the ladder. The weather totally changed. It did rain and now it's just beautiful and sunny and bright and blue skies. That's a good thing and a bad thing because I don't want to be standing in the sun up there. I wish it was overcast, but we'll make do. I'm going to go up there. Hopefully the roof isn't too slick. I'll show you what we're working with and then I'll show you a new tool. Hey guys. I haven't pet you yet. You're a soft one.
She looks elegant.
Duchess is elegant.
You see our bush blooming? Check that out. You can relax. Lay down. You're okay.
Oh, look at this tree all green now. You remember how it looked with just the vines going up it?
Whoa! So we have some peeling roof coatings, a little bit of dirt. The roof is dry, it's not going to be slippery. So you can kind of see the roof. Now, I wanted to walk around up there, but I just don't want to hold the camera walking around. I don't want to fall, so it's not worth it to me. So I'm going to leave you guys down here. But you get the point, there's a lot of cracked and loose finish that we need to try to get off. And also down at the other end more, there is some filthy spots where debris sat on the roof for a long time. Some algae, some mildew, that kind of thing. So I decided I'm going to try a pressure washer because that's the quickest and easiest way I can figure to clean that roof. I don't know if it's going to be strong enough to blast those big chunks off that are peeling. But even if it doesn't work perfectly on the roof, we can still use it to clean the siding, so it has a dual purpose here. After listening to a lot of people's suggestions and reading a lot of reviews, looking at a lot of products, I decided to pick up this. This is the Ryobi pressure washer. This is battery powered. It takes two 40-volt batteries. So this isn't like a tiny baby battery thing. This is two 40-volt batteries. A lot of power. It says 2000 PSI. I think that's at its max. We're probably going to be running, you can set the power right here. We're probably going to be running more like 1500 PSI. You can choose 1000, 1500, or 2000. So we don't want to go through the batteries too quick. But this, I haven't tried it yet. I'm not trying to sell it. I don't know anything about it. It just looked like a good balance between the real pressure washers and then the cheapy battery ones. It has a soap holder on it. It has everything a normal pressure washer has. I was tempted to get a plug-in corded pressure washer, but we just don't have any outdoor outlets that are wired up right now. All the power you can see is stripped out, and we do have power on the property. We have the well hooked up to the outside box. We just don't have anywhere to plug stuff in. This just felt a lot more convenient to me, not just for this property, but even back at home. We have so many projects like cleaning off the tractor and excavator and so many things. So I'm going to go ahead, get this hooked up, plug the batteries in, and we're going to try this out up on the roof. Now I'm not bringing the camera up with me because I'm going to be spraying on a roof and I can't be moving around a tripod. So you guys are going to stay on the ground, and I know you're not going to get like a good full view of what's going on. But when we go to do the siding on another day, I'll do this again. We'll get up close, you guys can see it working, and you can see how good it works. So if you don't see it today, just wait a little while, we'll get to that soon. We're just gonna test it out before we go up there. Alright, I don't want to waste batteries. I'll take it up on the roof. You can hand this up to me. So here's what I think. We've had to really step back and reevaluate what we're doing because of two things. First, the pressure washer, it actually worked. It worked pretty good. I was impressed with it. It's quiet and it works. The battery, very short. What we did was put it up on 2000 PSI and it really just drains the battery super fast. So we only got done like
you saw.
A little tiny section there. It probably would have lasted longer on the 1500, but it is what it is. I still want to try it on the siding and just see how that works.
It should work a lot better on the siding because the roof is really nasty. Really
dark, really, just everything's peeling. And I was hesitant to move around because it gets slippery when it's wet up there. Yeah. So it's kind of slow and difficult. But what I was seeing is the roof is actually a lot worse than I expected. There's a lot more of the roofing peeling off. It's like just everywhere it's peeling. And there's a top ridge caps and it's hooked to the metal roofing. And the seam is all kind of coming loose. From the factory, it looks like they had like a roof patch on it. So fiberglass tape with some kind of asphalt seal. Well, it's all peeling off. So that means I got to buy more fiberglass, more patch. We got to get that on there because we got to seal the seams. And then we'd have to wait 30 days before we can coat the roof again. And what I'm saying is, with all the scraping and spraying and cleaning and patching and waiting, this might be the wrong path to take.
Yeah.
What we wanted to do was just put a roof coat on, like an aluminum roof coating, to buy us time, so we wouldn't have to worry about investing in the roof right away. But we also have to value our energy that we put into the project. And if we are going to put a roof on it anyway,
Yeah.
maybe just spending the money now is worth it. We don't have to do any of that. We could just leave that alone, roof over it. That's what we're looking at right now. We're considering it. I'm leaning that way just because I realized how
Me too.
much it's going to take to get this roof, like, to whereas I'd feel comfortable putting stuff on the inside.
Right.
That's the thing. It can be done, but I want to make sure it's not going to leak, and it's going to take a lot of effort to get there. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll measure, get a quote, see what we can do. Sometimes you got to work through these phases. You know, you have a plan, but when you get down to the job, it doesn't work out the way you wanted, and you got to just go with the flow. So
Yep.
we'll see.
Readjust, reevaluate.
That's where we're at right now. That's it.
Yep.